It's a scam that they use a lot, especially like in the downtown region. Like taxi drivers, lots of them have connections with these clubs and these, you know. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Omar, and here I document my journey living in Egypt and just talking about how I travel and just sharing my experience with you guys, because I think it's such an unconventional experience and lifestyle living in Egypt as an American. It's definitely something that needs to be shared. So I do make videos all the time about just what I'm doing in Egypt. And yeah, so today's video, I wanted to talk about the types of scams that you may run across when you're in Egypt as a tourist, or even as a foreign, or even as someone who lives here, right? I've seen some videos on YouTube talking about the common scams in Egypt, and I will say lots of the ones that I've seen are really, they're really prevalent. But there are a lot of other scams that you may run across if you're living in Egypt, or if you are coming here for a short period of time, that I haven't really seen spoken about. So I'm gonna talk about just the common ones that you've probably heard of before, and the other ones that are probably not as known. So I wrote them down on my phone. By the way, it's also, what time is it? It's 5:18 in the morning. I could not sleep. I decided to get up and make a video for you guys. And yeah, so let me pull up the scams. Pull up the scams. Okay, the first scam I do want to talk about is the scams where people come up to you in the streets, hand you a pamphlet of gifts that you can possibly win. In exchange, you have to pay them a certain amount of money. With those scams, you can just even tell by their demeanor sometimes, and just their overall vibe, that this is just not legit and it's not authentic. It's something that it's a scam that they use a lot, especially like in the downtown region. Like, you can definitely come across people trying to get you to spend money so you can win a gift. You're not winning any gift. I even befriended someone before who told me he actually worked with recruiting or finding possible people who were interested in getting a gift and taking them to the office so they could win a gift. And so I became his friend, and he was giving me all the tea. Like, he was telling me that, yeah, like, those things are not really real. That's just how we make money, by having people spend their money for the chance to possibly win a gift, but there's never any real gift. And I asked him, do people actually believe that they're going to get a gift from this? And he says, yeah, like there are scams that people believe and go for all the time. I was even a victim of a scam before. Like before I went to college, someone had called me and told me that I won a scholarship. And I feel like the reason why I was so gullible in that moment was because I had spent the past 2 weeks applying for different scholarships, and I think by like the third day I was kind of like losing track of like what I was applying for. And so when I got the call that I won a scholarship, I was hyped. I was like, okay, yes, I got a scholarship. What do I need to do? And the lady was like, all you have to do is go to Walmart, buy these little gift cards, and scratch off the like the thing on the back so you can see the numbers, and just tell us the numbers. And then it was just something. I was like 18 or 17, but it pertained to getting gift cards from Walmart and scratching the thing off in the back and telling them the numbers. And when I look back at it now, I'm like, that was so dumb of me. Like how could I, like what? And I thought, like, you don't need to spend money to get a scholarship. Like if you want a scholarship, there's no reason why you need to be paying anything. And so there are people like me who have fallen victim to scams and who are gullible enough to fall for them. So I wasn't too shocked when my friend told me that people do believe that they're going to get a gift. Ooh, another one. And this also happens to like Egyptians as well. When you're at a restaurant or a cafe, check the menu for the prices. Okay, check the menu for the prices, because typically people just order without even looking at the menu, because it's okay to know what you want. And not all places, especially when you're in like really local cafes, like the ahuas as they call them here, most of them are not going to have like menus. But I'm referring to more so cafes and restaurants where there obviously will be a menu. Look at the menu, because sometimes you can get a shisha, for example, and you think it's one price, but they're actually charging you the higher amount of like the higher price, because shishas may differ depending on like what place you go to. Like one place may have 3 types of shishas and they all may have different prices. Lots of people don't know that, you know, because when we go to restaurants or shisha places, we just ask for a shisha banana, a shisha mas. Like we just ask for them, right? No one like really looks at the menu. A regular shisha may be 40 pounds, but they're charging you 70 pounds because that may be the cost of the deluxe shisha, but you didn't order the deluxe shisha. But when that bill comes, you don't know the difference. You didn't know that there was any difference. And so it's always good to check the menu, because they could just tell you anything. Like this even happened to my friend. We were sitting at a restaurant somewhere, but she had ordered something and she knew that it said one thing on the menu. See, don't even give you the menu and then still lie about it. Because she looked at the menu and saw the price and remembered the price. And when she got the bill, she got her bill and she was like, why is it 20 extra pounds for what I ordered? And it was just this big thing that happened. But yeah, so look at the menu and speak up for yourself when you feel like they're overcharging you for something. The third thing on the list of scams is, okay, when you're doing excursions, beware. I don't know if this is like technically a scam or if this is just how things work in Egypt. But when you do excursions like the pyramids, right, you will be expected to leave a tip. That's okay, and that's not the scam I'm referring to. However, there is oftentimes someone who is there to assist you in helping you understand the excursion, what to expect, and to just do like the logistical things before you participate on the excursion. And then there's someone who's going to be with you during the excursion. Both of those people are going to expect a tip from you, right? And usually the one who's taking you on the trip is going to ask for the tip before you guys return back to wherever the base is that you were picked up from. So this has happened to me. This even happened to me the other day. I was riding horses, and the guy I was talking to arrange the horse ride, he wanted a tip when I was finished. The guy who gave me the horse ride, he wanted a tip after, you know, everything was finished. And, you know, I'm okay with tipping. Like, I have no issue with tipping. I think people, if you offer excellent service, you deserve a tip, you know. That was my first time on a horse, like riding a horse, and I was a bit afraid, He helped me, he guided me through the entire thing, and I tipped him like he deserved it. The other guy who like arranged it and stuff, like he was really like, he arranged it, but he didn't like put in like that much work, I don't think. Like he was just sitting there and just, I don't know. But I remember like when I got back, when the horse ride was finished, I got back and he was telling my friend, yeah, like an ice matangani, I want 200 pounds, you know. And but he didn't tell me that. Like he was telling my friend, like, get, you know, 10. But I did not pay that 200 pounds because, one, I'm not going to give you 200 pounds for you sitting on your ass. Like, I'm not going to do that. You were a nice and kind man, but I just tipped this other guy, and because he did all the work. So yeah, I'm not tipping again. So that may be something that you may encounter. Just be aware that you may be expected to tip 2 times, and that's totally up to you. If you want to tip both people, that's totally up to you. But also, 200 pounds is a lot of money. That's a lot of money to be tipping people. And they'll try to gaslight you too with that. Like they'll try to tell you, because the thing is, when it comes to tipping in Egypt, local Egyptians usually only tip like between 10 to 50 pounds, 50 pounds. If you try to tip as an Egyptian, they'll look at you and be like, well, this is just $1 in your currency, or this is just $2 in your currency. And that's happened to me before. It's like, well, one, they look at all foreigners as just coming here and just having so much money to just splurge on everything. And it's like, no, like some people actually live here. You know, there are foreigners who live here who get Egyptian wages. And you know what I mean? And so it's not all foreigners have the same circumstances financially. And so, but of course, they're not going to know that. But that's why it's okay for you to really stand up for yourself if you feel like you're tipping, you know, appropriately, and not tipping because you feel pressure to tip or to tip more, you know, because that's the thing. Like sometimes when you tip someone, they may complain. You know, I offered the guy who gave me the horse ride, I offered her 50 pounds, and 50 pounds is considered a really good tip in Egypt. Yes, it is like almost $2 in my currency, but it's considered a good tip. And me having lived here for 2 years, I understand that. Like that's good money. But they'll look at you and say, well, that's just $2 for you. I'm so excited to share this one with you guys because this keeps happening to me, right? It used to happen a lot more to me when I was taking taxis a lot more, but now I just take public transportation. This used to happen to me a lot. And instead of taxis, I put taxes. So taxi drivers trying to take you to what they call yeshar, right? Yeshar in Arabic really means to stay up late, but they use it in the context of going out to party, right? To go to the club, go to the cabaret, things like that. Usually when they know that you're a tourist, they'll assume that you are someone who enjoys nightlife, who enjoys drinking, smoking, and just doing things that they see in American movies, right? So they'll sometimes offer to take you to yeshar. And usually when they do that, if you choose to agree to go, like that's obviously your choice. If you want to go to the club and, you know, have fun, that's totally up to you. But just beware of the tactics, like of the tactics that they try to use to get money off of you, right? So what they do is they will take you to a place, make you stay in the car. They'll go inside the place, talk to the people who work there, and let them know that you're a foreigner coming into Yeshar. And they'll agree on a price that they're going to charge you. The taxi driver will come out the cabaret or the club and tell you the price is this and that and this. Usually the price is going to be extremely expensive because they know that you're a foreigner and you're obviously probably most likely here on vacation and you're here to spend money, right? If you choose to go yeshar, it sounds weird saying it like that, but if you choose to go out to party, to club, it's okay for you to let the driver know that you would like to go see it for yourself. That's what happened to me, right? When I was in Egypt the first time and a taxi driver tried to get me to go yeshar, I was like, oh, that sounds nice, because I had just finished, like, I had like a long day and I was like, I wouldn't mind going out for a drink. The driver was so weird. He was taking me to a place and The first place we went to, it was two places. The first place he took me to, he got out the car, like I mentioned. He got out the car, went inside, came back like after 10 minutes and was like, okay, the price is this. I'm like, that's way too much money. Like, I don't think Egyptians are paying that much money to go into a club. Like, what? That's just the price. And you know, if you want to go see for yourself, it's well, that's Egypt for you. Like, if you want to go inside to check for yourself, it's lit, like it's nice. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go check. I went inside, it was actually pretty lit, but I was not convinced to pay that much money that he was telling me to pay, because I knew he was going to get a cut from that. He's getting a cut from that, and that's why it's so expensive. And also, like, the people who work there are trying to charge you extra money, and so yeah. Anyways, long story short, the taxi drivers, lots of them have connections with these clubs and these, you know, night cabinets that they want to take you to. If you choose to go, bargain if the taxi driver is trying to give you the price and not the people who actually work there, right? Bargain with him. Or you could even let him know that you want to talk to the people who work at the club, because it's, you know, their job to really be telling you how much you should be paying, not the taxi driver. So just know that. Be safe if you're out. The next thing to consider when going to Egypt is to, if you're taking a taxi, agree on the price before you get in the taxi, right? Lots of people in Egypt, lots of taxi drivers in Egypt would like to let you know how much you should be paying once you get there. And it's okay to let them know that you are not going to get in that car unless you guys decide on a price before you get in. Egyptians also do the same thing, you know, and yes, it is a lot more efficient to use apps like Uber, because Uber works here, but it may not always be the most convenient. You know, you may be out in a place like Khan Khalili. Like, I hate getting an Uber over there. Like, it's just so crowded, but there's always taxis, you know. So taking a taxi may be more convenient in some instances. You know, maybe your phone dies, or maybe the Uber app is just not working, you know. So things happen, right? So sorry if my camera keeps bouncing. So in instances where you need to take a taxi, make sure that you are asking for the price beforehand and agreeing on the price before you get in the car, because sometimes they'll try to do things to make you feel as though you need to be paying this amount of money, even though the ride was just 7 minutes. The last thing I will say is not really a scam, but I do want to mention, because I've seen many videos of people having encounters with different vendors, and you know, at like the pyramids and things like that, and how they'll be harassing them. Like, people have said, like, Egyptians who are trying to sell you things keep harassing you and things like that. There are people who are very intense in Egypt, especially people who are trying to sell you stuff. People at the pyramids, people can be really intense. They may throw things on you to try to make you buy it, or I guess to pick it up, so you know you'll have to buy it. Things like that. Like people have thrown things at me. So people can be very intense, right? What I found to be really useful and helpful to getting people to leave me alone is to simply ignore them, right? Ignoring them. It's okay to greet someone, to acknowledge their presence. That is totally okay. But as soon as you start interacting and engaging with people who are trying to sell you things that you don't want to buy, they already have your attention, right? They already have your attention, and you're already leaving a space where they can try to convince you to buy something, or just to convince you to keep going back and forth with them, because that's what they want. They want your attention, because when you are paying them attention, that means you're listening. And when you're listening, there's still a possibility that you'll give in and buy something from them or give them money. I just simply ignore people. I ignore people. You know, most conversations start with the hello, right? And that's what I'll acknowledge. I'll always acknowledge a hello. You know, they'll be like, you know, hello. I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm good. Where are you from? America. And that's it, because yeah. Okay, oh, well, we have this and that, and then I'm just like, and I just mind my business, right? And they'll keep talking to you and keep talking to you, and I just don't even look at them. I don't look. Then when they tell me the first time what they're selling and I say no and they're insisting, I just start to just zone out and just go back to whatever it was I was doing. As long as you are giving them your attention, they have you locked into whatever they're trying to tell you. And the best thing that you can just do is just to ignore them and just to continue taking your pictures, continue riding your camel, continue doing whatever it is that you were doing, because you're still engaging with them and that's still fueling that interaction that you probably don't even want to be having. So acknowledge them, acknowledge their hellos, acknowledge their presence, and that's okay. They start to sell you things and you don't want it and you already told them no once or two times. It's okay to just ignore them, right? Just ignore them, and eventually they most likely will just leave you alone, because who wants to keep talking to someone? Who wants to keep talking to a wall, right? Who's gonna keep talking to a wall? So yeah, so that was just a list of some scams I thought of, and just my advice to people who are coming to Egypt and who are excited about their trip. I hope this advice was useful, or will be useful if you are trying to go to Egypt or planning a trip to go to Egypt very soon. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys next time.